What do I say? Welcome to the Toke&Trans podcast, where we talk life, love, and getting high. Grab a J and join us.
What's going on, everyone? It is your two favorite trans guys, Beau and Aaron here. We are here for a little special episode. And Beau, how are you feeling today? How's it going this evening?
It's going good, dude. I'm so happy that we're doing this. It's one of my favorite things. I'm going to read your natal chart today.
My natal chart,
Your natal chart
is fun fact, Aaron does not know much about this / any about this, so it's going to be really good for us to do this together, so that way whether you're listening and you're like, I know exactly what this is and I'm ready to hear this about this guy, or you're like, don't know what this is, let's learn with Aaron because he also doesn't know what's going on. So just either way, like, let's just do it together. I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Beau's constantly teaching me things, I'm down.
It's so fun. We all know I'm a little woo-woo. A little bit. I'm a little bit woo-woo. I wouldn't say I go full woo-woo, but I'm definitely, in the realm of woo-woo. And so your natal chart or your birth chart is basically a chart of every planet and celestial body in the position that it was, the exact time and place you were born. So like the sky looks different depending on where you are geologically, right?
Yes.
So it's the
I'm
sky
obsessed with the stars and shit.
Right. So you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
Yeah.
So you know how people say like, oh, I'm a Gemini, I'm a Cancer, I'm a
Yeah.
When they say that, they're talking about their sun sign.
Okay.
That's the main one that people talk about.
That everyone refers about. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. So your sun sign is Gemini. My sun sign is Cancer. Right?
Okay.
So when people talk about the big three and like what's your big three, they're usually talking about your sun, your moon, and your rising sign or your ascendant.
Okay, I've heard that.
So right. So we're gonna go through all of it though, like even stuff you've never even freaking heard of.
Love it.
So love it. Okay.
I love to get educated.
Well, and this isn't based on any real fact. It's just kind of
but I also
faith
think
and
it's
fun
helpful to like. Yeah, well, I think it's helpful to like have other perspectives and like see these things, like from another perspective and take it with a grain of salt. But I'm also always think it's super interesting and what the fuck, why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I love about you. You're my favorite.
Oh, I love you, Beau. That's why we love doing the pod. We get to hang out and we get to be friends with you who are listening with us, and let's do it.
All right, so I'm going to talk a lot of shit about Geminis. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I feel like that's something that like is instantly like when I tell someone I'm a Gemini or like when I'm like, because I know that about myself. I at least know that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like every time I say that, like I always get kind of like either like a laugh or like a okay, all right. Well, like
yeah,
okay, and then it's followed by a sometimes I could see that, but then I don't really know what that means past there. So everything from here is just bonus knowledge for me.
My moon is in Gemini, so you won't hear me talking too much shit about Geminis. But Geminis at like face value, a lot of people assume that Geminis have a two-facedness to them, like at base level, and that's that's not true.
Right.
So
they're
your
just
sun
immediately
is
like untrustworthy.
Right. Yeah. But they just don't know a lot. It's just like a stereotype of Geminis.
Yeah.
Because it's the twin and two-faced, whatever, twin, whatever. Anyway, the sun in Gemini means that your urge for self-expression is strong.
Well, yeah, that's
sun.
For sure.
Solar Geminis are curious to a fault, and they have a finger in every pie. So like they're like a jack of all trades.
Yes.
They're very flexible. Absolutely. They're very changeable. Their ability to adapt to new situations generally gains them plenty of friends and social contacts. They're usually
Oh,
quite clever and witty. They enjoy intellectual conversations, and they are easily bored if not sufficiently mentally stimulated.
that's a fact. That's true. All true so far.
They're quite adept at fitting in with others. They adapt the moods of those around them. They are friends with people from all walks of life, and they are not easily intimidated. Their ability to detach themselves can make Geminis very objective and observant, but also a little difficult to get close to. Although they may have many friends, intimacy does not come as easy to solar Geminis. It's not always easy to know what Gemini truly feels at any given moment. This is also why they get a bad rap, because they can, what people perceive as like non-emotion or even apathy is just
Mhm.
them being hard to read. It doesn't mean they're not experiencing these emotions, you know.
Yeah, it's just hard for other people to read that they're experiencing them. Okay, I got you.
Right. Um it's not always intuitive to trust Geminis to be loyal or to keep secrets. Geminis also often flit about to moving quickly and keeping busy every step of the way. Many people with this position have gained quite a bit of knowledge in their lifetimes, but they don't always seek specialized or in depth knowledge. It just comes to them. This is because Geminis have relatively short attention span and are happy to know a little bit about everything instead of everything about something. Restlessness is especially common.
Shout me out. Shout me out, Miss Mister
Gemini's,
ADHD.
yeah, right. Geminis enjoy the light side of life. The tendency to take things lightly makes them quite pleasing to be around. It's true that it can be maddening to people seeking support on the deeper issues in life. However, Geminis are both interesting and interested. They're always ready to help. Their wit can be dazzling, their changeability sometimes dizzying. Geminis will seldom bore you.
Absolutely,
So,
I can see it. Wow, and
um,
that's
I I agree with that
yeah, I'd say for the
mostly
most
for
part.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's about 89% accurate. Yeah.
And a lot of that is also your ascending is in Gemini as well. So,
And aren't they usually like each one's different?
right, the placement depends, or like, right, the traits exaggerated
Hmm.
depend on that position, but because your sun is also your ascending, those are like, that's a very good descriptive review, just like as a whole.
I
Like
see. I got you.
like normally people, you'll have to piece, that's why people ask like your big three, because like Cancer just doesn't describe everyone who's a Cancer. There's
Right.
also the moon. Your moon is different and your rising is different, so it's like, oh, with three of those, those big three, you can pretty much get a good idea of a person.
I got
But
you. I got you.
because two out of your three are in Gemini, like Gemini just as itself gives a pretty good descriptor of you. And
Yeah.
I think for the most part it does. Um
Yeah,
so
definitely.
a Gemini with an ascendant Gemini means you're very quick-witted, somewhat nervous and restless, and you strongly identify with friends.
1,000%. I love to fidget, and I've recently got that adult ADHD diagnosis as of a couple of weeks ago. So I'm uh I'm interested to see what that does for me, but I 1,000% think that that is pretty close to accurate with all of the giddiness and the fastness and totally.
Yeah, it was just so funny because right before we started to recording, you were just saying some stuff, and I was like, I literally read this in your chart, dude. Like,
Dude, there
we're
it
about to
is.
talk about this. Like,
Oh my gosh, that's crazy that there's two of the same.
yeah,
Okay. All
that's pretty
right.
cool. So, you're an opportunist. You can express yourself easily. You tend to learn quickly. You're welcoming and gentle. You like to travel and intellectual work. Some weaknesses of a Gemini: a changeable and diffuse nature. They may waste energy by taking on too many things.
Facts.
Um, can lack persistence in achieving set goals.
Probably due to the inability to stay focused.
Yeah. You need focus to be persistent, unfortunately. So, okay. So your sun is in the 12th house. There's like houses, a house and the house is the position that the sun is in, right?
Okay.
So the houses are like a location, right? So your sun is in the 12th house, which means you tend to be introspective and you need some space and seclusion to pull up your strength. You may avoid the spotlight. Yeah. And if you do find yourself in a public role, you could hide your true self behind that role. Because your will directs inward, you must find a path that allows you to get away from it all, at least sometimes. That's so true. I mean,
that's interesting.
Kayla's like your battery charger, and I feel like you have to.
Yeah, I have to retreat and kind of get myself back together. Yeah, I 1,000% agree. And then even when I am home and in my like total normal safe space and stuff, it's like I still use my smoking time to like reset. I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you might be a smoker. You might know, that you need that minute to kind of reset sometimes. Hit the bowl, take a deep breath to yourself, and then be like, all right, now let me go back in at bed as a better version of myself. So,
yep.
Yeah, definitely.
So this says advice for you would be to honor your need to be alone with yourself, but avoid over-identifying with your inner world to the point that you truly feel alone in a crowd. You shine when you serve others in some way. Your compassion sets you apart from others, but try to work with it rather than let your compassion work against you by reinforcing a feeling of aloneness.
Wow. That's great.
Yep. Key points. He sees so many possibilities that it can be overwhelming to choose. Success in fields that serve, guide, assist, and help are best for him. He is creative, perceptive, and compassionate.
I do like helping sometimes to a fault, where if someone is like talking to me, I'm like, here's how to fix it, instead of like, what do we, like, wait, I'm just in this right now. Like, let me be in this. And that's something I've learned about myself over the years.
Yeah. This next
let
part,
me get you out of this. Oh, sorry.
No. This next part is about your sextile between the sun and Saturn. Now, this is getting deep, deep into these placements,
Yeah.
Even beyond like what I would normally look into. So it says it's natural for you to accept responsibilities, lead a rather ordered life, and apply caution in your financial and business dealings. This helps you stabilize and ground yourself, leaving you a realistic person. You rarely jump to conclusions or take uneducated risks. You have a certain amount of patience and enough self-discipline to slowly but surely achieve what you set out to do. This aspect gives you some seriousness. You are naturally trustworthy, and you have little patience for people who don't show respect for others, who take foolish risks, and who lead chaotic lives. Key traits of this position is you're grounded, reasonable, level-headed, fundamentally responsible, and deliberate. He benefits from a solid and realistic sense of self and understanding of his capabilities. I think that's pretty true too. With your investments, the way that you've used them have been things that when you talk about it, I'm like, I'm freaked out for you. But they ended up working out. You ended up getting a fucking house because of the way you invested your money. And I was just like, I was sweating.
Bro, I was sweating too. I was sweating too. But basically, like I constantly like do a shit ton of research before I make the decisions and stuff, and that is 1,000% so true. And that came into play there too, to where I just had to research hours about NFTs and got it to help me get my house payment. And I was like, that was fun. But again, that was just a point of what you were saying. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
freaking
that is
crazy.
pretty. That's pretty spot on. I feel like this chart is like on. It's hitting. You know what I mean?
Is it
So
hitting?
far,
I
there's
told you it would hit.
bro. There's like I feel like there's not very much that's like not hitting very hard. Like
Yeah.
there's a few things
Wait. You
like
just wait.
very minimal,
We're not
I
even.
didn't write them down.
We're not even
I didn't
halfway
write them
done
down.
yet.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Because I'm just like listening to you, and I'm like, okay, Beau.
Yeah. All right. So the next is the trine between Sun and Uranus. Listen. It's natural for you to question tradition.
my existence. It's hilarious.
You are, above all things, an individualist. You naturally rebel against that which is established. It doesn't mean that you consistently break all the rules, but you question some of them, especially those that don't make much sense.
Oh God, that's my role. That is just my role on Earth.
You work best when you have some say as to when and how you get things done. Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Own his own business, fucking head ass. You possess much self-integrity. You avoid labeling people and are most offended when others attempt to label or stereotype you. You
Like
easily
it.
embrace new ways of doing things, stick up for the underdog, and express yourself in unique and inspiring ways. You don't have to try to stand out as unique. You're original, creative, and progressive without trying. Far from pretentious, you value honesty and truth and avoid putting on airs. You believe in equality and easily relate to people from all walks of life. You possess an unmistakable enthusiasm, and generally, your life is interesting because you invite unusual or adventurous experiences into your world. Others appreciate you because you are open minded, fair, and not judgmental. Nothing really seems to faze you. You take things in stride and are rarely shocked or taken aback by human behavior. Now, when I got to that last part, I was like, I don't know about that. Aaron seems phased about some things.
I do get a little phased, and
A little phased.
I feel like I'm able to internalize it to a point,
Mm-hmm.
and then it starts to get very visual, but on my face.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That when I read that one, I was like, this one is mostly like that's my boy,
I
right?
know that guy. I know that guy.
So the key traits of that position are that you're magnetic, intuitive, inventive, unique, innovative, always seeing where improvements and progress can be made. He is at his best when he feels free to be himself. He doesn't like to be told what to do.
All true. I mean, especially like questioning tradition is like my existence as a trans, like all this. Did you just like did you put in my socials too? Like how
No.
did you obtain this information?
Yeah, no, I
I'm
know.
just
Sometimes it's
I'm
so
just curious
crazy.
how this works.
Right. So the next section is the trine between your Sun and Neptune. It says there's an unmistakably dreamy, inspired, and sensitive side to you. A marked appreciation for music and the arts is present. The connection of Neptune with the Sun, which represents the ego and the will, certainly softens some of the hard edges that might be found somewhere in the chart, adding a sensitive and spiritual dimension to your personality. You are naturally compassionate. It is so completely natural for you to accept that there is more to the world than what's before your eyes that you absent mindedly presume everyone must be spiritually inclined. Of course, you come to realize that this is not the case at some early point in your life. Your attraction and to spirituality and metaphysical subjects is usually marked. This aspect favors writers, artists, and musicians. You are sensitive to those suffering, although you are not usually taken advantage of. You are a humanitarian and may have a special connection with animals. If other aspects and positions in the chart support it, you are not one to dominate others or assert yourself to the point of brashness. You have a fertile imagination, are full of inspiration, and are very emotional. All qualities you could use successfully on the professional level.
Wow, that is spot on.
Yeah.
I am a very spiritual person, and I do have a great connection to music. I find it calming, and it's some of the only things that can relax me, even in crazy, panic attacks. You put the right music on, you get in the right zone, and that really talks me down. So I can definitely see that.
Yeah. The
Wow.
key traits from that position are he is naturally and genuinely empathetic, compassionate, and intuitive. His observations and insights are unique and fascinating, making him an original and helpful guide. He has a gentle
Yeah.
nature that picks up on subtle cues from his environment. I agree. It's my gentle guy.
Yeah. It-
Okay.
yeah. I'm a softie.
So the next one is the opposition between the Sun and Pluto. You can be prone to inner tension and negative self destructive behavior.
So this is the part where it gets like less complimentary and more like here's your flaws
Right, like we've
because
been glazing you this whole time. Now it's time for you to get shit on.
let me get a pen. Let me get a pen to defend myself. Can you hear my
So,
clicks?
yes.
Good.
All right.
Good.
So, it goes on to say, for example, when things are going well, you suffer from fears that something will come along to change that.
Bro,
Consider
trauma,
that
come on.
constant.
Consider that trauma. Sorry, I'm not going to cut you off, but that's. Go
Oh
ahead.
my God, that was so funny.
Oh,
It's
shit.
so good. Okay. Consider that constantly worrying that the rug will be pulled from under your feet could become a self fulfilling prophecy. Consider that. You
What
possess
it.
tremendous power and strength. When you learn to accept and use that strength instead of fear it, you can be one of the most effective, insightful, helpful, and healing people around. At times, you can be intensely dissatisfied with your personal accomplishments and expressions of self. You put a lot of pressure on yourself regarding your own endeavors. You can be quite dissatisfied with your creative self expressions, preferring to hide your expressions from others until you feel the output is perfectly right.
Which is
This is
why I have
largely
no
due
posts on TikTok.
this is largely
Anyway.
due to a perceived inability to reveal your true personality to others.
Mm, I see.
You
I
struggle
see.
with a deep need to control yourself and life itself. You are especially sensitive to criticism and feel the need to redo yourself often. There is a marked fear of losing control, and this might stem from some traumatic event in childhood, or the childhood might have been crisis ridden or emotionally charged in general.
Or all of the above.
Hmm.
like Katrina.
Right. Like you didn't suffer through
And
one of the
others.
greatest natural disasters in America.
Yeah, that's
Oh my God.
crazy.
As such,
That's
you can
crazy.
be intensely fearful of or threatened by change. This can express itself through attempts to control your life in such a way that you can manage your fears of being taken off guard, which generally backfires. You have an intense need for privacy at times. The
Hmm.
key traits of this position are you're creative, ambitious, and endlessly going through transformations. He benefits from being open to improve, reform, and change, but needs to work on deep seated shame, guilt, and fear that can be behind jealousies, resentments, and control issues. He has great determination and willpower and can readily turn around a situation. Yeah,
Aha.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I got you. All right. I'll
Cut
see you.
into it. Cut into the meat.
Getting to the bone now, baby.
All right. So the next one is the conjunction between the sun and the ascendant. So it says, it comes easily and naturally for others to receive you well. There's a distinct air of authority and benevolence surrounding you. The authority you project typically doesn't offend others, primarily because people sense your sincerity simultaneously. Most people would describe you as natural, easy to like, and friendly. You have a marked interest in the performing arts or sports and games, either as a spectator or participant. This is an especially favorable aspect to have for those who are in the public eye.
I do love
Mr.
sports. I'm very
Softball, we do love
competitive.
sports. Yeah.
Do love sports every weekend. We watch it. We watch a lot of football in our house. Not really. We just watch two teams, but it's fine.
So that whole section was about your son. And
Okay.
like the house that it was in relation to your ascending and all that other stuff. Now we're getting to your moon, okay?
Okay. Okay.
So the moon represents the emotional responses, unconscious predestination, and the self-image. The moon represents emotions, and the moon sign shows how a person expresses themselves when at home, at ease, and comfortable. So this is kind of who you are when you're just at home,
Chilling.
when you're
Yeah.
just chilling, right? So your moon is in Virgo. Lunar Virgos find security in the little things in life. They feel most content when they've straightened out all the details of everyday life. Many enjoy running errands, balancing the books. As long as they're appreciated, these people will help you take care of your life too. They're at their best when they feel
Buzzing
useful and
around.
needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's a fact. That's a
Um,
fact.
Virgos can lack self confidence. They appreciate simplicity and are often most comfortable when they're not getting too much attention from the world at large. They are easily overwhelmed by pressure and stress. They worry incessantly when there is too much to think about, and they know their limits. Arguably, the worst situation for a lunar Virgo to endure is without a steady routine or a satisfying job.
Yeah. I like having shit to do.
These people
That's a
express their
fact.
affection for the people they care about in non showy and practical ways. They can be a little stiff when it comes to open, gushy displays of affection. They're often shy with new people. However, when they're comfortable, they are anything but shy. They're talkative, interested, and interesting.
That's 100% true. Like if I first meet you and we are just talking for like the first few times, I'm like
Hmm.
way more reserved. Like way like I'm like, okay, how comfortable can I be with this person? I feel like just a default from like a
Yeah.
personality standpoint. And I feel like a lot of people could like resonate with that too. They're like, can I trust this? And then they're like, all right, but now you can see me. Now let's
Yes.
fuck. Now let's fuck around.
Hmm. Exactly. Um, More often than not, others can count on lunar Virgos. They are reliable and trustworthy. Above all else, lunar Virgos are practical. Others turn to them for help and advice. In relationship, lunar Virgos can be self effacing and kind. Some are quite shy in love and easily intimidated. Some aren't comfortable with their sexuality, but they aim to please nonetheless. The sign of Virgo is very body aware in general. If this awareness combines with a lack of self confidence, lunar Virgos can be too aware of the parts that make up the whole. This can lead to a tendency to be intensely self critical. Once lunar Virgos learn to come out of
And
their shell,
dysphoric.
however, yeah, they can be earthy partners with a lot to give. Yeah, I think when I read that, I was like, well, dysphoria.
Hello, duh. Yeah.
Right.
And that, yeah,
um,
on top of that, that's crazy.
Lunar Virgos seem very interested in other people's problems. Um, their advice can seem hard to more sensitive folk, but they are surprisingly delicate when faced with others' problems. Virgo moons are busy and quietly happy when they have their lives under control. They aim for a simple existence and are often quite content with very little. Many are early risers. They scurry around keeping busy, managing their life quietly and expertly. As long as their personal world is manageable, lunar Virgos can be a delight to be around. They are fountains of knowledge, and they can be excellent with advice and insight.
Hmm. Wow. Well, that's
Yeah.
sweet.
Potential issues: servile nature, frequent changes of occupation, quick to become annoyed, upset, and worried. He is too quick to brush off opportunities.
Hmm. What was the second one? Hold on. What was the second one?
Frequent changes of occupation.
Oh yeah, no, I said that I was that hits the spot because like what I do for like marketing, it's like the one person is going to be social media, one person's video, one person's a website thing. So it kind of works for me. Like when I
Hmm.
was getting my ADHD diagnosis, they were like, "Oh, you know, usually ADHD people struggle to keep a job," and it's like maybe if my job was a repetitive the same task, but having something different every day to work on, it works in my advantage.
Yeah. There you go.
Make it work for you. Make it work for you.
Hell yeah. Okay, so um your moon is in the fourth house. That means that you like family life, peace and quiet. You like to stay at home, surrounded by loved ones in agreeable circumstances. You're strongly influenced by the early environment and mother, or takes after the mother. Ooh, I know we don't like to hear that.
Oh, well,
Maybe we
ooh.
just take after her in just the way that we like to be at home.
Yeah. We're just homebodies.
We're just
Yeah,
homebodies. That's the
yeah.
only way.
We are. We are. Exactly.
It's possible it's possible that you remain rather immature or irresponsible emotionally, never wanting to truly grow up. There can be
Well,
some
it's hard.
mistrust. Yeah, especially with trauma. It's fine. I'm not here. Listen, I'm not.
I'm just playing. I mean, I'm just saying it out loud. I'm not filtering for you at all. I'm just
I'm
telling you
just
what
reading.
I'm
I'm just
thinking.
reading the chart.
Look, man, this is taking up with the chart, man, not me. Shit.
There could be some mistrust of those in authority.
Facts.
Attachments to your past traditions and family are strong. You play it safe with money and your heart. Working from home, a family business, or following in parents' footsteps can be themes. The memory is like an elephant. It seems like you
Hmm.
have that's the second thing that's mentioned, you having a good memory. This next part is about the trine between the moon and Mercury, which says you are quite expressive and animated in your speech. Not only do you have an outstanding memory, oh, this is another one that's, but you also pick up a lot of information from your environment. You love to chat and exchange ideas. Even if you are shy, once you're friends, you love to talk about pretty much anything under the sun and enjoy sharing stories from your past.
Featuring this podcast.
Right, literally why we have this podcast.
Welcome to Toke&Trans.
Right. um you were accommodating and curious. But you are not as well equipped to handle heavy emotional demands. You
Look,
thrive
the
on
emotions are a
variety.
work in progress.
Yeah. You can be a little addicted to gossip. More probably, however, you have a deep curiosity about others. You're never short on humor. You're playful and versatile. You make a fun companion and an interesting friend. You listen. Yes, you do talk occasionally, interrupt in your excitement, but you are interested in what others have to say, which is a real pleasure.
Oh man.
In fact, you are more able than most people to get others talking simply because you are very receptive and sympathetic, and you also pick up on others' feelings and body language readily.
I do pick up on people's body
Yeah.
languages. Absolutely. Wow.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Next is about between the moon and Mars. You are a passionate person who loves life. Although your emotions are powerful and immediate, your passion is general your passion is generally controlled and directed. You can be a sexual person who nevertheless doesn't get
Sure.
too carried away or controlled by your passions. No
I
doing it
mean,
in the
it's true.
Arby's stand up bathroom for this guy.
I'm a very sexual person, and I feel like after you start T, your libido is like kicked up, and like mine was fine before, so like it's true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
It's true.
Right.
I think it's good. Hey, sex is good. I'm telling you,
Hell
sex is
yeah.
good. Self love is good. I'm. It's important. I think it's important.
You are generally open, accepting, and natural in your sexual expression. You need an emotional connection to feel complete on a physical level.
Hmm?
You may have an affection and talent for sports, but other factors in the natal chart are necessary to provide the motivation and commitment. We do. We've had the confirmation in other positions in the natal chart for that. So,
Mhm.
short description: he's frank, honest, full of vigor and ambition. He's strong-willed and powerful at work. He's a little hard on himself and sometimes on others whose capacity for action is not as great or inherent on an emotional level, craving action or activity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trine between the moon and Jupiter. He is generally pleasantly composed due to an inner sense of harmony and emotional balance.
That's probably not right. I
Maybe not right.
maybe I I expected something not to be off on, and that
Yeah.
would probably be it. I'm still
He is
learning how to
able
manage.
he's able to get a real perspective on emotional matters that not only benefits his outlook, but also he is able to offer support to others when needed. Broad-mindedness is a wonderful characteristic. Quickly finding humor in situations, he's generally warm and fun to be around. Deep down, he believes in the basic goodness of people and of life in general, and this fundamental and natural attitude helps him to attract positive circumstances and make good connections. One of his best
Mm.
qualities is tolerance. Usually, he doesn't take life too seriously in the sense that he believes in having a bit of fun, enjoying life. In the sense that he believes in having a bit of fun and enjoying life. His hunches are more often than not bang on. He is fair and always seeking the truth.
Wow,
All right.
that's
This
wild.
next one is the square between the moon and the ascendant, and then we're going to move on to your Mercury. This says he can be happily influenced by the family or childhood, or otherwise feel rather insecure about new beginnings and new situations. He may seek love, appreciation, and feedback. He is susceptible, perhaps, with some superficial sensitivity, and can be sometimes. I don't know that word. I'm gonna be
Irrevocably.
honest.
I don't know. I'm guessing. I can't
It's
see
not
it. What is it?
irrevocably irascible,
All right. If you're one of our vocab
changeable,
friends, drop it in the comments. Let us know what it is. Let's go.
inconstant, and moody. However, he is usually highly intelligent, adaptable, and very often misunderstood, projecting the wrong image more often than is comfortable.
Mm,
Okay, so your Mercury represents your communication, how you communicate.
okay.
Your Mercury is in Taurus. So that means you're faithful to your ideas, you're unchangeable and quietly opinionated, persistent but discreet. He likes all the pleasures life can offer. He's careful in his speech, deliberate and intelligent when he speaks. Learns best through the senses, not through the traditional educational system. He possesses plenty of common sense, and his simplicity makes it easy to get from point A to point B in as few steps as possible.
Yeah. I like to be efficient.
Weaknesses: stubborn, obstinate, withdrawn, slow to react.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury is in the 12th house, which means that you may have difficulty expressing yourself, especially when young. Doesn't talk much, doesn't speak for the sake of it, but only when in the mood. When in the mood, he could talk a lot in big bursts of conversation. He may prefer to work in remote and quiet places. He is discreet and philosophical. He is not quick to speak or communicate, as you need to develop trust in your own abilities to express yourself. You make an excellent confidant. Agreed.
Oh,
You are very discreet, and secrets go into the vault. You might make matters too complex by overanalyzing motives or hunches and then have problems acting on your intuitions as a result. You're very attracted to symbols, sentiment, imagery, and paradoxes. You prefer not to focus on facts and learn best when ideas are presented visually, emotionally, or imaginatively. Learning to communicate clearly is a challenge for you, but one that might put an end to feelings of guilt of being misunderstood and attracting unpleasant situations or duplicitous people into your experience. All right, and now your Venus. Your Venus represents um your interest in emotions and values, exchange and sharing with others. Also, like how you love,
okay.
how you share affection. Venus and Gemini people. Your Venus is in Gemini too. Holy shit. Venus and Gemini people will try to win over the object of their affection with witty conversation, displaying just how much they know and demonstrating their diverse interests. These lovers are playful. Some might even call them a tease. They're hard to pin down, and they resist relationships that promise to become too comfortable. Even those with their sun in Taurus or Cancer, whose outward demeanor may suggest some reserve and caution, will want their relationships to be stimulating and full of conversation with Venus and Gemini. Venus and Gemini people don't want to be tied or bogged down in their relationships. They appreciate lightheartedness in love. Although they are willing to talk, perhaps endlessly, about the relationship, you may get the feeling that they gloss over some of the deeper issues. In love, their tastes change often, and it can be hard to know what to expect from one day to the next, or sometimes 1 hour to the next.
Uh-huh. Maybe before I was
Pleasing.
married.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, now that you're married, it's kind of. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I,
before I was married, I made some mistakes. There was some
yeah,
there's some accuracy to what you were
yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
It said when you
Pl-
were young too, so come on.
it did, yeah. Pleasing Venus and Gemini involves supporting their need for fun and variety, showing interest in their brain power and knowledge, and giving them space for friends and activities outside of the relationship. Let them know just how much fun you have with them. Try not to get overly miffed by Venus and Gemini's changeable, fickle ways. Remember that time spent with your lover will be exciting and invigorating.
Mm, I like to have fun.
Yeah. Um, So Venus is in the first house, and that means that you're big hearted, generous, devoted, lovable, and sweet tempered. He's drawn towards the arts. It's we're getting another confirmation of you're drawn toward the arts, music, and song. He likes gatherings, parties. He may have big emotional highs and and may crave and get a peaceful life in love. You're likable, magnetic, attractive, and a charming person whose heart is often on your sleeve. Unless Venus is very challenged, you are easy to befriend and warm in self-expression. Negative expressions of this position include a superficial charm, a tendency to play dumb when challenged or in doubt, and two-faced passive aggressive behavior. The need to be liked by others and or keep the peace might lead to feelings of resentment or general unrest if you feel like you give up your own power to others. You might find it difficult to make solid decisions. Your personal sense of style and manner are things that others find fascinating, and you generally pay great attention to how these things benefit you in life. And yeah, so that's Gemini gets some shit about being two-faced, and
Yeah, that's where
yeah.
that's coming up.
Right. It can also be like a highs and lows situation, like a bipolar kind of situation, or
Yeah,
like manic depressive, like you
yeah,
know the
yeah.
extremes.
The not emotionally balanced.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So next is your Mars. Mars represents for the desire for action and physical energy, and your Mars is in Taurus, which means slow and steady wins the race, could easily be a motto for you. You're goal oriented, but not known for your speed. But your staying power is tremendous. Once you find it, you fucking ADHD.
Then you're good.
Right. Most have well defined long term goals and the determination to achieve them. They won't alter their pace for most anything. If you can get past these quirks, however, you'll find that the Mars and Taurus natives are often quite reliable and strong personalities. It may just be worth the wait. You're getting a lot of like a reliable, like so many of your placements have been reliable, trustworthy, you know, so really fighting the untrustworthy Gemini allegations.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I hope.
Okay, so next is your Jupiter, and Jupiter represents your expansion and grace, like ability to change and learn.
Okay. Okay.
Your Jupiter is in Capricorn, which means that you attract the most good fortune when organizing, directing, conducting himself with integrity, acting ethical, and being mature. He values the long term achievement, responsibility, and manifestation, success through resourcefulness, and avoiding activities that waste time, energy, or resources. Good at streamlining. Position or status is important to him. Your Jupiter is in the 8th house, which means that he is interested in the occult. That's kind of a weird declaration to make. Partnership can help financially. The spouse having money or resources may easily gain support. These are going to start being shorter in description. Your Saturn represents your contraction and effort. And your Saturn is in Aries. Self-consciousness can be a problem. You must learn to develop self-confidence. You're bothered by a me first attitude in others, but you must learn yourself that me first is sometimes necessary in moderation. Your Saturn is in the 11th house, which means that you may often appreciate the company of older people of intelligence and good counsel, and they will help with success in professional life. You may have few friends or difficulty finding a partner. He is very reserved. I don't think you had difficulty finding a partner.
No. I was not single very long. It's fast. I should have been single longer in between my relationships. You know, you live and you learn. And I'm happily married.
Aaron was a hoe.
Aaron was an emotionally unbalanced. Aaron has regrets.
Well, that's okay because
Aaron learned.
Yeah. And and we're here now, and that's good. And I love you. and next is your sextile between Saturn, Uranus. It says he knows how to be on top of the situation. He perseveres, is determined, but ingenious and original. He's very practical. He proceeds slowly, but is always bound to achieve his objectives in the end. Your trine between Saturn, which is Pluto, says that he perseveres, achieving his projects through hard work. And now we're on to Uranus. Uranus represents individual liberty, egoistic liberty. Okay. I never got into the further out planets, you know. I kind of stopped.
No, you're good.
But
I feel like
Uranus,
if you're like diving into someone's chart like this, then you're like, I want to know about this guy. Like,
yeah.
Who is this motherfucker?
And like some of these are pretty like specific, you know. So your Uranus is in Aquarius, which means that you may get overexcited at the start of a task that interests him. At times, his debonair personality can give others a banal impression. I'm not sure I would call you debonair.
I don't know what that means, so
It's
I don't know
like,
if I would call myself that either.
Debonair is like, I don't know, I would describe like what's James Bond. James Bond is debonair,
Oh, I see. I
like
got you.
shaken, not stirred. You know what I mean? Like
Okay. Okay. I don't know if that's my style.
sexually attractive in a very smooth and confident and mature way. Like yeah. So I'm not sure. That's it. Well, hey, I'm not saying you're not sexy. All right. You're
Oh my
sexy, bro. You're
god.
sexy.
Okay, thank you, thank you. All right, yeah, you better say that. I'm on to you.
Oh my god. Okay, so the next one, your Uranus is in the ninth house, which means that you're interested in humanity. You're highly intellectual. He travels a lot. His mind is always on alert, even when sleeping, during which time he often resolves the problems of the previous day.
Or the previous decade, or your childhood. Bro, my dreams are constantly when I was like a kid. It's so crazy.
Yeah, you're like constantly resolving that shit.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Forever.
You can be wildly creative with an odd but happy sense of humor and perspective. Um, he's an idealist, easily disappointed by those using power plays to advance. He fights to improve his daily life. He is persevering. He may have difficulties achieving a peaceful love life. He can have lots of adventures, love at first sights, which can lead him into risky territory, as these can complicate and perhaps even poison his life. Well,
Facts multiple times. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Neptune. Neptune represents transcendental liberty, non egoistic liberty. And your don't even ask me. Your your Neptune is in Capricorn, which means that you're discerning, wise, and sensible. Your Neptune is in the ninth house, which means that you have an interest in art. We keep getting that. Big
Yeah, I
dreams,
do. I do love art.
an interest in spirituality. He's compassionate and kind, can be fascinated with other cultures or foreign places, a humanitarian with good imagination.
Wow.
He's naturally drawn to learning what makes himself and other people tick. Love can
Nice.
dominate his life. He could lose his head over someone to whom there's an intense attraction, which can become troublesome if he loses all idea of reality. If he's not loved in return, so what? He will love for the two of them. With this time, if the bond loses its spark, he can have difficulty disentangling himself, and then he can suffer enormously. it's it's best to look to a trusted outside source for guidance in vulnerable times. Uh,
No comment.
I'm glad
No
we're out of
comment.
that. We're
No.
we're out of that phase.
No
So next
comment.
is Pluto. Pluto. Pluto represents transformations, mutations, eliminations, change. Basically, your Pluto is in Sagittarius. The only thing that it says for this is it says great aspirations. Sexuality and love are idealized. So I think that saying that you aspire to have an ideal love and sex life.
Yeah.
So
Who doesn't?
you're right. Right. Yeah. Right, exactly. Um he learns his greatest lessons and goes through deep transformations through work and health matters and occasional crises. Power struggles can be an ongoing issue at work. Compromises learned over time. I'm not
I
going to
guess
read
that's
this
also
next part
true.
because I know that that's not true. And I don't want to put that shit on your name, boy.
So
So,
there was an inaccurate line that you're not sharing, is what you're saying.
yeah, that's inaccurate as fuck. And I'm not going to speak that shit into existence because I know my boy.
Next. That's fair.
Lilith, Black Moon Lilith. I don't see this. I don't Lilith. I don't know what Lilith is.
All
But
right.
here we go.
Well,
Black Moon Lilith represents our darker, deeper natures that may be repressed or buried. Your Lilith is in Cancer. He may have felt ashamed for being needy or dependent and now feels awkward or even angry with people who display these traits without apology. He can feel very uncomfortable asking for help and or expressing his own nurturing nature as a result. Accepting the very human need for care and concern in himself can be empowering. He can also help eliminate extremes of behavior in these areas where he expresses neediness to an extreme, after which feeling remorse and then repeating the cycle. North node, south node. Your south node represents overdeveloped character traits. The north node points to the qualities that we need to work on and develop to achieve inner balance. Okay. So the south node is an overdeveloped trait, and the north node is qualities that we need to work on. So your north node is in Libra, which is so what you need to work on. He sometimes relies on himself so much that the people in his life feel alienated or not needed. He is working on tact and patience. He may fear losing some freedom or independence if he involves others more, but allowing some feedback or help into his life can restore balance. He lets success into his life when he lets others in. Ultimately, he learns that self justification stunts his growth. Qualities to develop and cultivate: cooperation, tact, sharing, and teamwork. His path to believe in himself enough to feel comfortable expressing his unique creativity, to be the center of attention, committing himself to a definite path rather than shooting in the dark. Although he feels less pressured and more comfortable in a group or informal setting, moving out of this comfort zone once in a while can enhance his social and romantic life tremendously. Qualities to develop: self confidence, getting personal, willingness to stand out or call attention to himself.
Hmm.
Okay, now it's about your rising in Gemini. Those born with Gemini rising see the world as a place to learn. These are people who love to ask questions, definitely restless and quick in physical expression. Um, a certain uh, a certain lack of warmth in presentation can be, oh, their facility with words can be a wonderful asset, although sometimes Gemini rising individuals identify too much with their mental agility and forget, in their personal interactions and communications, to nurture the people around them. A certain lack of warmth in presentation can be the result, and although this style is generally a facade, it is not immediately apparent to most. People with, for example, predominant water signs may feel a little ill at ease with Gemini rising people. That is, before they get to know them more personally. While strong air types more fully appreciate the fun and cleverness of these individuals. Um, Gemini risings are often labeled as intellectual, inquisitive, and perhaps the odd child. Many feel their upbringing lacked some warmth.
Hmm.
um,
Yes. I
yeah.
German again.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
speed through
this.
this last part. You have Cancer in house 2. It's a fruitful sign to have in your money house. You can rely on such sound instincts to acquire and save money. You have a very good money sense. You have Cancer in house 3, which means that any travel he does is usually only to visit family or friends. Family and dear ones are very important to him. They can always count on him in times of difficulty or trouble. Nostalgia is strong. Cautiousness in
Yes.
communications. He always thinks before speaking. Leo is in your fourth house, which is the area of home, family roots. You may conduct a family like a business, rigorously and authoritatively. Great sense of organization, looking after what he owns well with pride. The fifth house is the area of self expression, romance, entertainment, children, and gambling, which is
What a
Virgo.
combo.
Yeah. He does not lack for practical sense to run his business and home. He is ingenious and good with his hands. He is modest and prudish. The sixth house is the area of learning by material transaction, which is Libra. Above all else, he likes good, harmonious, and balanced working conditions. Weak point: the kidneys.
Oh no.
Check, keep your kidneys
Drink
Check out for your
water.
kidneys, bro. Yeah, drink
I
water.
guess. Note. Check my kidneys.
Um, the seventh house is the area of a one-on-one relationship, such as marriage and partnership, and of social and intellectual action, which is Sagittarius, and goes on to say a union with a foreigner or a marriage abroad. Neither of those is true. He seeks happiness and intellectual companionship more than anything. The eighth house is the area of emotional security and security of the soul, which is Capricorn, which goes on to say that you will have a natural death in a very old age, likely.
Yes, my hope is to get to 94. That's like my goal. So I'm
Well,
just putting that out there.
that I think that's what's going to happen.
Score.
Um, the ninth house is the area of learning that shapes the identity, which is Capricorn, and goes on to say may tend to respect the religion in which he was brought up as a child, still holding this belief. He likes justice and loyalty. So,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
nailed that.
Accurate.
The 10th house is the area of material action. Midheaven represents the work one will do in one's life, a place one will take in the world of society. It becomes more important as one grows older, which is Aquarius. You will have success in teaching. He likes to like contact with others to speak and explain in his profession. The 11th house is the area of search for social and intellectual security. Social security. He may have
Social
only a
security.
few friends. Oh, and that's in Pisces, which goes on to say he may have only a few friends, but with these, the friendship is sincere and frank. The
Yeah,
12th
bro.
house. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
The 12th house is the area of education and emotion. This is where we meet our karma, deal with endings, and sometimes where we bury things. And that's in Aries, which goes on to say that you can take initiatives without consulting anyone, even your partner. And that's it. That's it. That's your entire fucking chart, dude.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. I feel like
Yeah.
that was pretty on.
Yeah,
How?
there was like a
uh,
little bit here and there that wasn't you at all, but most of it I feel like
Yeah, it was like strangely on. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, there's a few things that I was like, I'm not really sure about that, but the rest, for the most part, I was like, accurate, true, sure, true. Some of it, I was like, this is like a compliment to you're like, I don't know if that's true. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you're
right.
actually really
Because
true. You know what I mean? Like, as the person, you can't like say like that's accurate because you're like,
but
I don't
then
know. You know what I
but
mean?
then it goes on to say that you have a problem with self-confidence.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what I'm
Okay,
saying,
I
dog.
see.
Like
I see. I got
did
you.
you
That's true
did you
though.
hear every time that it said that you have a problem with self-confidence?
Yeah.
Cuz it
I'm
was a
like, yeah,
lot.
moving on. Yeah. Yeah. Moving on again, moving on again, moving on again.
Right. But listen to this again and just listen to every
I'm,
time it says that.
bro, Kayla was so excited that you were gonna do this episode too because she's like loves this stuff and like loves learning about this stuff and like me too and like so she was like, "Can he read my chart? Can he?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, that'd
Hell
be fun."
yes.
So we've been
Oh my
trying to
god.
convince Kayla to come up on this pod, and maybe um, that would be a fun thing. Do like a little short version of her, and then maybe we can ask her some questions. So, working
Yeah,
on
and
it
you
in the
know,
behind the scenes.
I wonder how many people share placements with you and like if they can speak true to it or not. Like if their Venus was in Gemini too and if they could relate to anything that was in your
Oh,
chart.
I see. I
You know
see.
what I
I
mean?
got you.
Yeah. I don't
Yes,
know.
yes. Yes, I love that. I love that. Wow, that's cool. You have to send that to me too. I'll have to look through it again
I'm gonna yeah, I'll
because that
send it
was
to you
cool.
in a
But I felt like
PDF.
I was like nodding with you. I was like, yes, no, yes, no. So that's that was perfect, man. I appreciate you doing that and sharing the knowledge with
Of
me.
course, dude.
Sharon, I wish I could read. Maybe I could try and read yours. I don't know. I don't know how that works. If I could just read it, but like I don't know. But I think
Yeah.
that maybe we'll get a professional on here to read it for you. Maybe we'll bring a guest. We'll feature a
Yeah.
professional guest to read Beau's chart,
Hell
so that
yeah.
I don't screw it up. Yes.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
don't forget to smoke one for us. And we'll see
Subscribe.
you
We'll see you in the next one.
in the next one.
Yes. All right.
Bye.
Peace out.